There may be some water in here. Oh man, I have no cash. Here is some water, I am saved. I'm gonna pass out.
Oh man, what a dummy! Quick, grab the SDS manual! This situation could have gone a lot better if we'd read the handling instructions first. The best way to find those are to Google the chemical name and SDS. For example, Versico Weathered Membrane Cleaner SDS. This will be the fastest way to find the SDS. The manual of safety boxes is really only there as a backup. Let's talk about the different sections in SDS, and then we'll talk about the most important sections. Those sections are 4, 5, 7, and 11. Section 1 identifies the chemicals on the SDS and recommended uses. Section 2 identifies the hazards of the chemical. Section 3 identifies the ingredients contained in the product identified on the SDS, including impurities and stabilizers. Section 4 describes initial first aid care. Section 5 provides recommendations for fighting a fire caused by the chemical. Section 6 provides recommendations on the appropriate response to spills and cleanup. Section 7 provides guidance on safe handling practices and conditions for safe storage. Section 8 indicates the exposure limits, engineering controls, and personal protective measures that can be used to minimize exposures. Section 9 identifies physical and chemical properties associated with the substances or mixture. Section 10 describes the reactivity hazards of the chemical and chemical stability. Section 11 provides toxicological and health effects information. Section 12 has ecological information. Section 13 has disposal considerations. Section 14 has transport information. Section 15 has regulatory information. Sections 12 through 15 are not regulated by OSHA. Section 16 just has other information that contains the date of preparation or last revision of the SDS. The most important sections are 4, 5, 7, and 11. Section 4 is first aid. With chemicals, it's a bit more complicated than just slap a band-aid on it and toughen up. I might even suggest that you read up on the SDS before opening a can of
"What is this that might hurt me?"
This section helps you know exactly what first aid measures need to be taken to neutralize the chemical, when to use eye wash, details on how to treat chemical exposure, and when to call 911. Let's take a quick look at the household bleach that many of you probably have in your home. In case of eye contact, for example, immediately flush with plenty of water. After initial flushing, remove any contact lenses and continue flushing for at least 15 minutes. Wash skin with soap and water, remove to fresh air. Section 5 is also crucial to your job. You need to know how to fight a fire that started with or near your chemical. For some fires, you can use a simple fire extinguisher. For others, you need to use a specific fire extinguisher, or you need to use it in a specific way. You also may need to contact 911. Knowing the proper response before the fire is burning is much less painful. For bleach, use extinguishing measures that are appropriate to local circumstances and the surrounding environment. Section 7, Handling and Storage. This section explains how to effectively use the chemical and how to store it in conditions that will keep it and the environment and workers near it safe. You need to be aware of what the do's and don'ts of handling it are, such as making sure that you don't breathe in any invisible vapors or store it in a hazardous location or manner. Keep in mind, while storing bleach, keep containers tightly closed in a dry, cool, and well-ventilated place. Important note here, incompatible materials include acids, ammonia, aluminum, steel. This is super important for you to know, as combining another common cleaner, ammonia, with bleach makes a very toxic chloramine gas with fumes that will kill you. No joke. Section 11 is the final section you should familiarize yourself with. This section is similar to Section 7, with a stronger focus on employee health. It informs you on how toxic the chemical is and what parts of your body, such as your mouth, nose, eyes, or even skin, need to be protected with PPE. Remember that bleach can burn your lungs, eyes, and skin. Oh, and don't drink it either. Hey, one more thing. Remember, as you're going about your daily life and you're handling chemicals outside of work, that those other chemicals can also be a problem. So pay attention to what you're using, and don't be afraid to take a second and look up the SDS manual, because it's out there. Again, we're not saying that the other sections are not important. Each section has its purpose and is in the document for a reason. While they're helpful to know, these 4 will typically prove to be the most useful on the job site. That about does it. Remember, when you're using a chemical, you have the tools and opportunity to know all the information you need about it. Study up for a second, learn what to do and what not to do with the chemical, and follow the instructions. This will save you lots of time and lots of health. Just use it. Thanks. Keep up the good work.